A strange man aiming a pneumatic gun from a distance. The barrel is made of plastic, and the inside is devoid of bullets and filled with shards of glass. This office worker is his target. Let's wait and see what he does next. He aimed at an approaching car. He aimed and fired glass shards into the tires of the car. As a result, the car lost control and collided with the office employee. The shot with extraordinary calculation propelled the driver to the top. The man smirked and then ran away. Today we'll watch a film about an assassin who specializes in disguising assassinations as accidents. This is Mike, a professional hitman who works for a hitman organization led by Big Ray, a retired veteran assassin. Mike is the best assassin in the guild, despite the fact that everyone has a different method of assassination. Mike's favorite person was this big bearded man. Because of his fiery personality, his assassination method is also fiery. However, his method of assassination is no longer popular with customers. The next guy who appears dirty is a poisoner who uses poison to soak his teeth in toothpaste or simply touches a cigarette with poisoned hand. Then there's Max and Mick, two friends who were both in the special forces. Assassinations are frequently disguised as ordinary street accidents, making it impossible for police to investigate. Finally, there is Jane, a female assassin who is skilled with the katana, and Fred, a hulking old man with a sophisticated assassination technique. With a gas, this fat guy once assassinated an entire team. He was experimenting when a bald man walked in. This is Milton, a vital link in the assassination network. He specializes in taking customer requests and then assigning jobs to assassins based on the client's specifications. Because Mike is the best assassin, the money is also managed by this fat guy, Milton. He was also assigned numerous assassination missions. Mike once went on a mission to kill a drunk office man. And when the office man returned in the middle of the night after drinking a full bottle of wine, not realizing Mike had sneaked into the house, the drunk man saw the watch and attempted to climb on the chair and take it down. Mike predicted every move he made until the drunk man stood up on the chair. Mike choked him from behind with a rope. The hanged drunk has no idea what happened. "Do you recognize me?" Mike simply said nothing and kicked the chair away. "Yes, I recognize you. The viewer is worth $25,000. Mike is only concerned with money in this show. Mike is unconcerned about whether the person is good or bad. Mike will accept the mission as long as there is money involved. Mike returned after the assassination and took a photo as evidence. Next, Mike was tasked with assassinating an entire rock band. He simply went inside and sat quietly as an audience member, chilling. Notice that the band's power supply line was exposed during their last show. Mike approaches the power supply with a glass of water. The band was electrocuted while singing with their electronic equipment. The audience was perplexed and had no idea what was going on. Mike will find a way to relax after each such assassination. He didn't do anything special, but simply decided to act. He then gives the two security guards money to go somewhere else. Mike went inside and saw a bunch of uncivilized thug, or someone bothering a sexy lady. Mike drank blood before being boiled. He did not hesitate to attack them one by one. Thugs with inferior fighting skills to Mike rushed toward him. Mike then used the power of his badass skill to beat the crap out of the thugs, despite his professional ability to fight and assassinate. But no one knows Mike was once a bullied young man. The typical main character trauma flashback. A group of teenagers is chasing young Mike in this scene. They have a habit of bullying him and making young Mike throw up his lunch money. But how can Mike pay them all with the little money he makes selling newspapers? He once caught a middle-aged man breaking into someone's house while carrying a gas cylinder, but he was clearly not a gas employee. The house exploded seconds after the man entered it. The man walked away, but nothing happened. Mike was intrigued and followed. For weeks, I followed this man and discovered that he was an assassin who took money for assassination and then staged everything as an accident. Big Ray, it turns out. Mike tracked him down, pulled out the clip, and forced Big Ray to teach him his trade. He claimed that because he was bullied too much, he wanted to kill the leader but did not want to go to jail. Given Mike's determination and stealth abilities, it's only a matter of time before he becomes a professional assassin. Big Ray warned Mike that it was possible to accidentally kill the other guy. Mike crept into the house when the guy wasn't looking, stuck a piece of money on the antenna, and then hid under the blanket. Without a doubt, the guy returned. He was climbing the railing to reach for the bill when Mike jumped out of the blankets and pushed him down, causing him to fall. Mike was overjoyed, but his assassination skills remained rudimentary. Big Ray has captured the image of him pushing the guy below. Mike will need to put in more practice time if he wants to become a badass. Big Ray will then teach him everything he knows, from gun blazing to staging an assassination that appears to be an accident to defense skills. Big Ray teaches everything as if he were Mike's father. Mike has progressed over the years to become a top-tier assassin in the organization. Milton once assigned him to assassinate a young accountant named Root, and the client paid him twice as much to kill him as quickly as possible. Mike enthusiastically accepted the mission. He fired a pneumatic shotgun with glass shards in the barrel. Mike kept a close eye en route and waited for a car to pass at the right angle. When the car arrived, he immediately opened fire, shot glass fragments into the car's tire, causing the tire to death. The car turned and hit the route, killing him and creating the appearance of another accident. Mike simply smirked and walked away, while his brother drove away, terrified that he had just killed someone. That night, Milton called Mike and told him to go to the street where the client had promised to pay him for killing Route. Mike arrived late and was ambushed by another assassin. The armature assassin attempted to use various martial arts, but was defeated yet again by Mike. As soon as I arrive, shoot down from a tall building or use dynamite to blow up the area. But you charge in and shoot like a thug. What a disgrace to the assassination business. Mike then pulled him up and hit his throat, causing him to suffocate, before breaking his neck with force. Mike dragged him to the curb, placed the assassin's head on the sidewalk, and drew his motorcycle up next to his body, giving the impression that everything was in. The killer, it appears, took the corner too quickly and lost control, striking his head on the sidewalk step and breaking his neck. Mike returned home after making everything appear natural. He receives a phone call from a woman named Charlie. She claims Mike's ex-girlfriend Beth is no longer alive. Mike and Beth apparently split up for a while. She is an environmentalist. Because it is harmful to the environment, it has forced the closure of countless factories. Mike received the bad news while rushing to Beth's funeral and meeting Charlie. Charlie informs Mike that Beth was robbed by two robbers. They were about to steal some items. When Beth returned, the two thieves murdered Beth because they were discovered. A terrible blunder. The police discovered the fingerprints of two thieves who were being investigated, but both died of drug overdoses a few days later. Not only that, but Charlie revealed that Beth was pregnant and that the baby was Mike's. A true tragedy. Mike decided to investigate what happened after hearing what happened at Beth's old apartment. Mike goes inside and recreates the crime scene. With his expertise, he can easily determine that this is an assassination. Beth was found to have a certain amount of sleeping pills in her blood in the police investigation file that Mike had obtained. The file also stated that she was treated for a fear of flying, but Beth had never experienced this fear. Mike came to the conclusion that she had been drugged and murdered. The crime scene was then staged to look like a failed burglary by copying the fingerprints of two drug addicts. As it turned out, the murderer Mick and Mac enraged Mike so much that he immediately set out to find the other two guys to find out the truth. Mick and Mac saw Mike fuming and admitted to doing it. They were assigned the task and simply felt like doing it. They argue that because Beth and Mike have already severed ties, they can do whatever they want. However, Beth is still pregnant, which Mick and Mac are unaware of. They then brushed Mike aside, telling him to go home. That was simply businesses upset with their attitude. Mike was the first to launch an attack. Fighting two former special forces on your own is nearly impossible, but Mike uses his badass assassin skills and the power of plot armor to triumph. Mike's attacks were extremely powerful because they were launched extremely quickly and fiercely, thanks to training sessions and assassination sessions. He elbowed and threw Mac back, then punched Mick in the stomach and face with a 360 Madara kick. Mike then goes to Charlie and informs her that Beth has been murdered and requests information about Beth. Charlie claims Beth has a hard drive containing vital information. Her parents' house is in the backup. The guild's bearded assassin arrived just then. Someone has sent him to assassinate Charlie. The bearded man is a fiery character. When the bearded man activates his fury mode, he begins chopping mindlessly. Charlie took advantage of the bearded man's lack of attention and stabbed him in the shoulder with a knife, but he counterattacked with his raw strength. As a result, the bearded man was about to stab Mike with the knife when he tripped over the axe, causing fatal injury. Milton had sent him to kill Charlie, according to the bearded man. When Mike heard that, he told Charlie to go to Beth's parents' house and get the documents. Meanwhile, Mike arrives at Milton's house to force him to reveal who is behind the request to assassinate Charlie and Beth. As a result, he stated that the person was an accountant named Kent. Mike arranged to meet Charlie again after Charlie had obtained Beth's documents after learning the information. Beth, an environmentalist, went after an Indian oil company called Vanka, according to Charlie. The Van Cap company was initially denied permission to drill for oil, but the company's director bribed the government to gain permission. Beth was informed by an accountant named Root at that Van Cap company. That's correct. Mike was the one who got rid of the accountant. Kent was a colleague at Rue. This man was aware of Rue bringing bribe information to Beth. When the company director heard the news, he directed Kent to find the murderer and eliminate them. Kent has contacted Milton in order to locate a suitable assassin. He also recorded Milton's entire conversation. He then handed it over to Mike. Mick and Mac arrived just in time to save Big Ray. After seeing Mike causing too much trouble, he ordered the elimination of the entire team of assassins. Mike, Mick, and Mac charged in full force. Mac then hurls grenades at Mike, but Mike transforms into Ronaldo and kicks the grenade away. The other two were taken aback by the grenade explosion. Mike took advantage of the opportunity to control Mac's gun, but Mick shot Mac while Mike was using his body as a shield. Mick was then sprayed with a fire extinguisher and knocked out outside. The poison assassin had ambushed in secret. Mike climbed on his back to use a poison towel to cover Mike's nose, but Mike knew and held his breath. The assailant planned to stab him with a knife, but Mike stabbed him with his own and pushed him down the stairs. Finally, Mike meets Fred, an easy-to-pick-on assassin with useless tools in his pocket. Mike punched him and knocked him out. Mike casually removed a poison bandage from Fred's pocket and walked away. Mike then visits the Van Cap Company's director and meets a female assassin who specializes in katana. Big Ray sent her here to protect the old director. It was initially challenging. The female assassin moved quickly. It could have brought her skill level up to Mike's, but due to her lower strength, she was easily knocked over by Mike through the door. With her strong sword, the director threw a katana to the female assassin. The assassin slashed madly. Mike dodged with ease and then used the lamp, but it was ineffective. He then used a suitcase, but it was cut in half. As a result of the female assassin's careless slash, Mike counterattacked and stole the sword to stab her again. Plot armor. He then went to see the director. He attempted to bribe Mike with money but was unsuccessful. Mike then slashed the Indian guy in the head. Mike returns to Big Ray, who is furious. Mike begins to play the recording. They discovered in the video that Ken had followed the director's orders and hired Milton to eliminate 3 people. Mike's ex-lover, Beth, took his accountant brother route. Finally, Charlie. He stated that he wanted a single assassin to eliminate the other 3. He would eliminate the assassin after eliminating 3 of them to cover up the clues. They'll pay 3 times as much. As a result of this, Milton, who was desperate for money, assigned Mike to kill his brother first. He sent a young assassin to kill Mike because he knew Mike would not kill Beth, then assigned the others the task of killing Beth and Charlie. What a brilliant move. Hire a group of inexperienced assassins to kill a professional assassin, and then murder his wife. How does Milton see this ending? Milton was beaten and bruised by Big Ray after everything was revealed. Does that serve him right? Mike then passed him the poison bandage, but Milton was unaware, and he died a few minutes later. Even though Big Ray knows the truth, everything is clear. Finally, he let Mike go but severed all ties with him. The film comes to an end. We really appreciate you watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel with the notification bell because it is really important for us. Thank you.